All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's time to refresh my Vigo garden bed. I want to say I set this bed up last fall, but I didn't really do a lot of amendments in the springtime, and I probably should have, but it's definitely time to amend now. If you're new to my channel, my name is Aisha, otherwise known as Miss Champagne, and I am gardening in Zone 10A, West Central Florida. Just cutting back some of this Puerto Rican black bean because it sends its vines all over the place. And I don't want nothing dangling down and scaring me half to death. So just gonna harvest some of these real quick. Last year when I grew these, I didn't get any harvests. I think I got like one pod. There was a squirrel that kind of beat me to the punch that was living in my green stalk tower at the top. And it was eating all of my beans before I could even pick them. So you have to wait till they like dry. I think they're on the other side before you can pick them because it's a dry bean. So I can't pick them when they're green. Otherwise they may not dry correctly. All right, I think that's all for now. I see a few more at the top, but I need to get on the step stool. All right, so first things first is let's move the mulch out of the way. I've got wood chips down here, the like wood shavings that you typically see for animal bedding. So I'm just going to pull it to the side so that I can apply my fertilizers. Ooh, I see some seedlings popping up. I planted some cucumbers in here last week, and I see some of them starting to pop up, so that's good. Some of the fertilizers that I'm going to be using, I try to use organic fertilizers. Usually I would use my rabbit manure, but it's going in another garden bed right now. So let's move some of the irrigation out of the way. I'm just being gentle so I don't kill any of my seedlings that's starting to pop up. I like to do my cucumbers in the fall. They do a lot better than when I try them in the spring. Like in the spring, they're just fighting so much. They're fighting the heat. They're fighting the bugs. But in the fall, our heat, our humidity starts to decrease. It's still getting pretty warm, like in the high 80s, but only like in the peak of the day. Our mornings have been in the 70s. I think we're supposed to get like a low of 72 this week, which is going to be nice. Looking forward to that. Only in the morning though. Our high for the day is, I think, going to be like 82. But that is a break and I'll take it. All right. So just going to be moving a lot of this mulch. Also take the opportunity to pull weeds. Move your irrigation out of the way. Some of my pepper plants have died. They didn't make it over the summer, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull those. I have plenty of peppers to restart. Oh, it sounds like the chickens are laughing at me. I mean, I know that's their egg laying song. They're just announcing to the world that they've laid an egg. You know, they say chickens are quiet and only the roosters are loud, but my rooster crows early in the morning, sometimes randomly in the middle of the day if it's something going on. And then in the evening, like he's letting the girls know it's time to wrap it up. But my chickens, the hens, oh, they're noisy. They are noisy. Yeah, I'll probably keep this pepper plant. That one's still doing pretty good. But I am going to prune it back. So some of my hot peppers died, which was surprising. So I'm just not sure if the drip irrigation was reaching it. But usually your hot peppers will do pretty good. So I was anticipating losing my sweet peppers. This is my, I think the Cubanelle. It's either Cubanelle or Gypsy. And it is surviving. I'm going to cut back a lot of the dead branches at the top, and it'll put out some new growth, especially after I fertilize this bed. I'm going to be using some worm castings, and then an organic tomato and like pepper mix, a dry mix. And then, yeah, I think this is the live too. Which one is this? Nope, this is my Gypsy. This is my Cubanelle. Which one didn't make it? My Marconi. That one didn't make it. It's okay. I started some more. And I also have green onions in here. They're great to use as a companion plant. Even if you don't eat them, obviously there's way more in here than I'm going to consume. But they last forever. They'll just keep going. Every now and then come through and chop off the green tops, drop it in place. I'm not even sure how this tomato cage is in place right now. So I'm going to be replanting more peppers in this bed. And I'll probably throw in my San Marzano. I had it in this bed last year. It did really well. I'm also going to be putting down some crab meal. I haven't had an issue with root knot nematodes in this bed. But your nightshades are prone to root knot nematodes. I have them in some of my other beds that I've been growing my tomatoes in for the past 2 years. So I'm not growing tomatoes in those areas, in those beds this year. I may just make this a pepper bed. I definitely need to add some marigolds over here though. All I have over here is the green onions. Sugar Rush Peach is doing well. Gotta watch out for the spider webs. Don't want to disturb them. They're just doing their job. One of the biggest pest issues that I've had in this bed is ants. That's one of the things I don't like about raised beds, is that the fire ants will gravitate towards them, because when we have our heavy rains, they don't have to worry about really getting flooded, because your raised beds are going to drain a lot quicker. It's a lot of lizards running around in here. I think my Thai chili plant is okay, but the ants have been really on this side. It's like the minute I get them off of my jalapeno pepper, they move on to another pepper. So my serrano pepper has died. And I can tell it's ants because when I pull up the plant, there's like no roots. Like the root system is gone. And ants not only will, harvest aphids and attract those to your plants, but they'll munch on the roots as a colony and feed on them. So as much as I try to not disturb the soil and do no-till, every now and then you got to come in here and disturb the peace. Whenever you see like a dirt mound around your plants, it's ants. And they've formed a little nest by your plant. So I just try to disturb it as much as possible, and hopefully they'll relocate. All right. Just need to move some wood chips around this jalapeno tree at this point. All right, pepper plant this bean plant is doing too much. It's in the way. Can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going to cut back some of the bean plant because it's wrapping itself around my jalapeno pepper, and we can't have that. Just want to make sure it's the end and not like the beginning of the stem, because then that'll kill the whole plant. I don't want to kill the whole plant. Just one of the runners. The runners are doing a lot right now. And I need some new pruners. These bad boys are dull. Or I need to sharpen these pruners, one or the other. All right, just removing some runners. I'm not even sure where this one went to. Well, let's just hope that wasn't an important one. Okay. So I'm just going to temporarily move this drip irrigation out of the way. All right, first things first, I'm going to add some crab meal. It has nitrogen and phosphorus, no potassium. Phosphorus is good for decreasing the nematode population. So we're just going to sprinkle. Smells like seafood. All right. So that's that. Next, I'm going to add the tomato vegetable garden. That's what it is. Plant food. It has 12, 10, 5. So lots of nitrogen, lots of potassium, and a little bit of, phosphorus and a little bit of potassium. This I'm not going to do a whole lot of. And it comes as little granules. So this will be slow release. Let's see. Usually it's over like 2 to 3 months. Yeah, every 6 to 8 weeks. So since I'm putting my peppers in here, which they're just as heavy feeders as your tomatoes. And I'm not adding a lot, just like half a handful and sprinkling around the soil and then around some of the plants. Adding a little more where my peppers actually are so that they can get a little boost. So my jalapeno is doing good. I can see the ants moving around, so I definitely disturbed them. My Scotch bonnet is doing good. All right. Make sure I just want to at least see it. This is a pretty big garden bed. Okay. And then the next one I'm going to be really liberal with, and that's my worm castings. You don't have to worry about overdoing it with worm castings, but some of your fertilizers, especially like this when it has a high first number, which is the nitrogen, if you apply too much, you can actually burn your plants. But worm castings will not burn your plants. So I am going to probably use this whole bag because I have not amended this bed all season. And I'm pretty sure it needs it. And then since I put down granules, those are going to be slow release. Found one of my irrigation tops that I was missing. So many birds out this morning. I'm going to finish off with a liquid fertilizer that'll be immediate release, which is going to be my fish fertilizer. almost done. So this is essentially 3 raised beds. That used up this whole bag. All right. Now you want to work it into the soil. You don't want your fertilizers to just sit on top. So we're just going to rake it into the soil. Being gentle around your seedlings if they're popping up. I'm also going to put back the wood chips that I moved. This is a great time to make sure that your raised bed or container is not root bound. You know, you should still be able to dig in there pretty freely. You know, if you come across some pockets that are like really dry or hard, then go ahead and loosen those up. I'm like getting tangled up in sticks back here. Just know that whenever you disturb the top of the soil, any weed seeds that may have been hanging out on the surface, you've now planted them, and you'll probably get a little surge of weeds. But as long as you pull them early, it shouldn't really be a problem. All right, I just want to be gentle around my existing pepper plant. All right, let's make sure I put the irrigation back. All right. Always want to remember to put your irrigation back. Otherwise you'll have some very upset plants. Yes. Very root bound in this area. But this jalapeno has been here for 2 years. So I'm sure it has some really established roots. All right. Let's put the irrigation back. Got one little Scotch bonnet on here that's ready. So let's just take that off. That one doesn't need to be trimmed. Sugar Rush Peach doesn't need to be trimmed. It's doing okay. But I am going to trim some of the other pepper plants, because you want them to just get off to a healthy start. So no need to hang on to growth that's not really doing anything. And I'm leaving the main stem. I'll show you guys up close what I mean. But we're going to take off anything that doesn't look good. The way that looks. Okay. I feel like I didn't have it. Okay. Let's take a look. All right, now we have an up close look. I've put back the mulch. We've amended this area. I've got some cucumber seedlings that's coming up. Here are the green onions. I'm going to be using that as pest deterrent. And I'm going to put some peppers in the front here. More green onions. You'll see a theme. This one is my Cuban nail. I've cut it back, but I've left like a Y. It actually has 3 leads, but you want to at least leave 2 branches, the main stem and then 2 branches. It'll grow back new leaves along this main stem, and then it'll grow new leaves from these branches. And I did the same thing here, except for the main stem is down here. It kind of branched really early, way down here. So it's got 2 main stems, but it's already starting to put on new growth. This one's too low. You don't want new growth right on the ground because you'll have more pest pressure. So I'm just going to remove any growth down there because that's not where we want it. We want most of our growth to be up here. This one I'll leave. See, it's already trying to flower. But I'm going to fertilize this with some fish fertilizer and then put out my transplants. This one is the Sugar Rush Peach. I'm going to leave, I'll probably trim this little leggy branch. This one only has one branch surviving. The other one already died off on its own. So I'm not going to do any trim work with that. I am going to get one of these sticks to stake it up though. We're just going to give this one, not disturbing the spider web, a little more support. And then I'm going to come back and tie that. Scotch bonnet is looking great. Not going to do any trimming there. It's pretty much done its own trimming. Looking healthy. And then here is my jalapeno. Now I'm kind of torn. A part of me wants to, this bush bean, I mean black bean, I grow somewhere else. All right. I kind of want to trim it back because it's getting really tall. Like I said, this is 2 years old. So it has a lot of exposed stalk that is woody. You know, most of your young peppers are going to still be green. This is a very mature jalapeno, so it is woody. But the new growth looks nice and green. As you can see, it did suffer during the summer with some of the leaves. So what I'm going to do is come in and try to remove some of these diseased looking leaves, because we don't need those. And I'm not going to drop them back in the bed just because I don't want it to be like a soil borne fungus or something. I don't know what causes this. Almost looks like black spot, but it could just be from trying to survive the summer. But as long as your new growth looks good, then the plant will be fine. Let's harvest some of these jalapenos that I've let stay on here probably too long. Look at my little pile. Got one turning here. And I'll leave some of these. But yeah, I'm gonna just continue to remove a lot of these diseased leaves, just so the plant has a healthy start to the fall. I feel like there were some areas that I needed to adjust yeah, get this together. All right, I'm gonna be putting more pepper plants up here, probably at least 2. Plant some marigolds back here, marigolds in between. And all I'm gonna do is, I have marigolds in this bed back here. I'll just wait for the flower heads to dry up and I'll just sprinkle those seeds. Once you plant marigolds, you should not have to really plant, like, buy seeds ever again. At least not marigold seeds. This isn't right. This one's here, this one's here, and then this one's here. Better. And that is it. That is how you amend, well, at least how I amend my beds to get ready for the fall planting, especially when you still have existing plants in here. I'm not going to top it with any soil at this time. I may do that next spring. I have a branch following me around. That is it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Let me know how you amend your beds, what has worked for you in the past, because what works for me may not necessarily work for everybody. I'm just showing you what I do in my garden and how I keep things transitioning from summer to spring. All right, till next time. Bye, guys.